نوعت وبينات وزلا تخلوا تريد أن تسر حسبنا الله نعم الوكيل نعم المولى نعم الناصر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم مدد صاحب السيف. Let us renew our shahadat, saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. With this shahadat, we have entered again into a new faith. We entered again into a new life. We enter into a new mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He has given to everyone, that He has given to every single person of this ummah. Not to chosen people, not to chosen nations, not to the blacks, not to the whites, not to the yellows, not to the browns, to everyone. Not only to the Christians or Jews or Muslims, to everyone. He has given this mercy to everyone. When they recite the shahadat, they enter into a new life that will bring them beyond this fake life into a real life. And we are thanking our Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for giving us that shahadat, for giving us the ni'mat of that shahadat and the sharaf, the honor of that shahadat. That is the shahadat of the prophets that He has given to this ummah. That every time when you feel tired, every time you feel unclean, every time fear comes into your heart, every time you feel depressed, say this shahadat and believe in this shahadat. That you have one Allah, and you have one Prophet. And we believe in them and live according to that shahadat. That time, you will feel the strength coming to you, the strength of the faith that will help you to overcome this world and bring you into the next world, into the next hereafter life, into the everlasting eternity in safety, and in the company of those ones who loves Allah and His Prophet. So we have this. Sit over there. You're already preparing to go to sleep. We are beginning. You sit here. '21st century Muslims, 21st century murids, we must wake up. 21st century Muslims thinking that they are so advanced, thinking that with all this technology, which is not advanced technology, by the way, what kind of advanced technology, what kind of civilization is turning this world into a hell? There's not civilization. There's not technology. There's not advancement. There's barbarism. That is oppression. And that is cruelty. But let's say because of this material advancement, let's just say that for the sake of argument, with all this material advancement, with all this technology, with all this education, learning how to read and how to write, with all these huge numbers, with all the resources, with all the money, with all the military, with all the backing of different regimes, whether those supporting America or those supporting Russia. 21st century Muslims are finding themselves sinking lower and lower. Why is that? sinking lower and lower into that sinkhole, from individuals to communities to nations. Why is this happening if we are advancing? If we have everything? Why is this happening? The one who says that it is not happening must be the most ignorant and the most thick-headed and stubborn one. This ummah is not advancing forward. It is sinking into sinkholes, disappearing. Why is that? Because the foundation is missing. That is why. Because there is no foundation, there is no firm foothold. There is nothing that you are standing on, that we are standing on, that the 21st century Muslims are standing on that is firm and solid. That's why the earth is disappearing too, turning into sinkholes, and we are sinking in it. Say otherwise. Say otherwise, that Muslims are advancing. Spiritually, and what is that foundation? Enough to say that what we began with the Sohbet is the foundation. To say the Shahadat, it is the most important foundation. Ask yourselves then. I'm asking myself. How many times a day we're renewing that Shahadat? Not by tongue, not just by saying that, which even if you do, it's good. It's not a bad thing. If you take your tasbih and you say, let me do today 100 times Shahadat, it's still good. Just by the tongue, it's still good. But I'm challenging people. How many times you're doing it? Really? You're taking your tasbih and making it 100 times Shahadat just to say the Shahadat? If you're not doing that by the tongue, Allahu Alam, if we're doing it by the heart. You think Shahadat is like what we say, today's Christians, they're saying, Jesus saves you. You accept Him one time, Jesus saves you, and your life is supposed to be saved, and your akhirat is supposed to be saved one time. Islam is a religion of maturity, responsibility. You have to be accountable for it. You're given something. Yes, we're given the ni'mat and the sharaf of the shahadat in our iman. What are you doing with it? It's given to us. Don't think that we found this faith. We by ourselves, we found this faith. Even if you come into Islam, don't think that because of your researching and reading and talking, you found this faith. If you do that, you must be the most important person in the world. Allah is the turner of hearts. Don't say that. Oh, of course, it's Allah who's turning the heart. If it is of course, you must be saying that in the first place. It is Allah who turned my heart to Him. And those who inherit the faith from their parents, do we have something to be proud of? So many inherit the faith, and some, they inherit tariqat. But you never sit down to look at the faith and to look at the tariqat. What is it that I have? Am I making it to become better? Or am I just leaving it alone? Or am I making it to become worse? '21st century Muslims not caring. Saying shahadat, but not sitting down to examine, to understand what that shahadat is. Because majority, I'm speaking, majority, they are not believing in zikr. Majority are not believing in zikr. Do you understand what that means? Majority of the masjids in America, they're not believing and allowing the zikr of Allah in their masjids. They are the most tyrant of people. Allah has forbidden tyranny to Himself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and I forbid tyranny amongst my creatures. And who is more tyrant than that one who forbids the remembrance of Allah in his masjid? That is Ayatul Karimah. Of course, in these days, people get very impressed if we speak in Arabic and quote from ayat and hadith in pure Arabic, quoting from the books and volumes and this and that. We are not that way. We are not scholars. We are following sheikhs. We don't do things to impress people. We are doing it to express what we learn and to try to make people to understand. If you're doing it just to impress people, they just be impressed by those, what they call it, bells and whistles. What kind of faith is that going to be? Bells and whistles faith, that's what it is going to be. Show. But majority, they are forbidding zikr of Allah. If you are not sitting down to remember your Lord, to understand what ni'mat He has given you, to come closer to Him, to look at your shahadat today, to sit down today, to look at your shahadat. If you are not doing that, what kind of Muslim are we? How close are we then to Allah? It doesn't matter that time if you say that you are Sayyid or a Sharif. It doesn't matter that time you say your father is a Shaykh or a Wali. It doesn't matter that time you're an Arab or an Ajam. It doesn't matter that time whether you say that my parents were Muslims or I found Islam. If you are not examining your faith, if you're not examining where you're standing, what you're standing on, very easy these days. They remove that ground, sinkhole appears, and you fall. Because there is no firm foothold. And if you are really being sincere, you're going to sit down, and here I'm speaking to people who are in tariqat. I'm speaking to murids. Then you're going to sit down and you're going to understand that your faith is resting on the faith of your Shaykh. That your faith is resting on your connection to those ones who are connected to Allah. It cannot be otherwise. So think, who is your Shaykh then? Who is your Lord then? Whatever you're being busy with, you may answer that yourself. Whatever that you're concerned with, you'll find that. That time, you cannot be insincere. Although you say with your tongue the shahadat, but in your heart you're being busy with other than Allah and His Prophet. Other than those who brings you to Allah and His Prophet, then that time, that is an ilah that you have in your heart that you have to get rid of. Take care of the foundation. These are not the days to be busy with other than the foundation. The more you are going to be busy with other things, the less attention you're paying to the foundation. It may look like it's very strong, But if you're not testing it, if you're not stepping on your foundation and trying to shake your foundation and testing your foundation, one day, like I said, it's just going to disappear. Like so many areas in the world right now, sinkholes appear and towns disappear into them. May Allah not make us to disappear. Rest on the faith of those who are close to Allah, on your Shaykh. Keep them close. You forget them, be careful. May Allah not make us to forget. These words, first, they are for me and for those who wants to listen. You say it doesn't fit to me, it doesn't fit to you, then leave it. It's okay. I will take it. It is a reminder first to me and for those who are listening. Inshallah Rahman. We may speak until next year about this shahadat. We may speak until next year about what we are witnessing. What are we witnessing? Isn't that what shahadat is? I bear witness. You bear witness that there is one Allah. Inshallah, may we bear witness that there is only one Allah. That these words will become an experience, a reality for us. La ilaha illallah. Get rid of other ilahs except for Allah. That time we may witness Allah. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha.